What up, fam? This is James. Here again for another quick recording. I haven't really done anything like this in a while, but I think it's a good time. You never know when you're going to be inspired. Sometimes, you know, things that go on around you require, um, a response, even if you don't want to, even if you're tired or something like that. You know, Sometimes it's good to go ahead and create a response to the behavior that's all around you. One thing I find, and I kind of, there's no real theme for this message besides uh, things just keep on going and going. Um, I've actually stopped worrying about, time. Let's talk about time for a little bit. um, a lot of us are beholden to time and schedules. As you can see with some of the people who are coming and going, everything is run by a schedule. Like, for example, the library over here, it's only open during certain times of the day. You're only allowed to check out books for a certain amount of time. You can only experience certain things for, I mean, even if you go, okay, use the computers, there are computers in there, you have to use them for only an hour or, whatever the time limit is. There's always some type of hindrance on your time. However, um, you know, time is just kind of an illusion. It, 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 it goes faster, it goes slower, and we keep track of it by all sorts of different means, by the seconds, by the minutes, by the hours, by the days, by the months, by the years, by the decades, by the centuries, um, by the generations, by the millennia, all that stuff. Constantly tracking time. However, if you are any other animal besides us, you really could give a crap about what exact time it is. If you're a bird, you wake up in the morning. It matters because you got to do things, especially if you're in a hot climate. Waking up a little bit earlier might make things a little bit better for you in terms of feeding or making your nest, or hunting or mating, before it gets too hot, so that you can sleep for the rest of the day or recover your strength. Or some animals sleep during the day, and so they're nocturnal, so they are up at night, and and they hunt at night, and they do whatever it is that they enjoy. And so, it's not really time that matters, but uh, the environment itself is what dictates their schedule. The environment for me, as of late, has been, if I want to eat, and I don't have to, it is my choice completely. I can either go to a store and grab some stuff and be subjected to their harassment, um, in terms of police officers, and that contingent of mobsters that are hell-bent on trying to arrest anyone who goes against the status quo. And general stressing out because they use mind control and they try to put fear into you, etc., while you're doing it. Or coming here and enjoying the beautiful people who come out and help others, and do their thing in terms of giving, being giving. And unfortunately, some of them have a message. It's like it comes at a cost. Like sometimes you get yelled at. Like today, I got yelled at for doing absolutely nothing. One of the things about this homeless community is that they don't really respect, um, you know, what some may call the line. I consider it like Italian rules, where first come, first serve, and if you want to be first, then you get served first. And sometimes people get upset about that, and take it out instead on the people who actually did it. They take it on the people who are just waiting in line. Since I've been here, I don't think I've ever cut line. Knowingly, I might have come back and gotten an extra ice cream or something like that because, why wait in line? Um, when some people aren't getting ice creams, etc. Um, but I try not to skip line and be obnoxious and stuff like that. Did you just see that? There was a trash can right there, but the kid instead just threw it on the ground, which is interesting. This reminds me of some of these people that just don't give a shit about nature. Anyway, so the environment, I have to subject myself to, and also what happens is that, the negative entities create some type of thing where they want to attack you or get in or steal something. Who knows what the real issue is? They're very competitive and they're very obnoxious at the same time. So it's a whole thing. Anyway, so as of late, they've been definitely, being obnoxious and trying to hurt me in certain ways. And that includes random people showing up and invading your space. Let's go and throw this away. And as I turn around, I'll show you one of them. And it includes, random people showing up, invading your space, being disrespectful, and attacking in different ways, which I find, and I say it's an attack. I think that anything that, tries to overstep your free will and your right to being a sovereign, happy being is attacking you and trying to hurt you. And in a natural sense, nature is constantly striving to stay in balance. And these entities want you to be out of balance. And, and it's funny because they use an illusion. They use so many different illusions all at once. And, how, like I was mentioning, time, like the library schedules and work schedules and everything like that. And despite all those the timing that you have to run your life by, it's very, if you've been in the workforce, if you've, been in any portion of that society, you're always you never have enough time to get the things done that you want to get done. And that's by design. Because all of the time that you could use for yourself, for empowering yourself, for growing, it's taken up by society, some form of society that has been implemented and forced you in, that you've been forced into, and this is kind of like, it all kind of works into itself. It's all kind of the same, like when you're being attacked by these entities, they have no concern about your personal space and boundaries. They're constantly trying to force you into an agenda that makes you out of balance, that takes you out of balance. And the environment, as you can see with some of these birds, some of these animals, they are working in tandem with nature, with the environment. The environment, nature itself, dictates the rules, not people with their times and their schedules, who use that to invade your privacy and your peace of mind and your balance. And I find it very interesting that these creatures are constantly trying to force you into that paradigm of imbalance and trying to force you to be a part of their time system. And that's why I love just coming here and just chilling out. And yes, I do get mind control, like, what are you doing? You're not doing this, you're not doing that. Constantly trying to force you into being uncomfortable in your own skin. But I think nature itself is, and as you can see from the trees, they just stand here. They blow with the wind. Nature is here, and animals are here to teach us that the environment dictates our time. Um, Nature dictates who we are as people, um, and what we should be doing. Um, and for me, nature dictates. And these people, these entities get upset. They get very angry because they have a schedule. They have an agenda. And I'm not in that agenda. And they are constantly thriving. And anyone else, who was in my situation and I in your situation, where you are outside of the paradigm. Okay, you are no longer um, uh, a part of their system. And I have to tell you, I'm pretty far away from their system. I mean, no, I'm not living in the woods, eating off the land. But I don't have any ID. They would have to find a really good reason to come over here and harass me. Until they make a law that says you're not allowed to breathe. You have to, and believe me, that is a possibility. There is a possibility that they may try to make a law, because when you look, when it gets down into it, and for me, it's not really scary. It's actually really sad, um, that these beings are basically, in my opinion, parasitic entities that feed off of you. And so, in the end, it's you or them. Um, and from the way that nature is explaining to me is that nature's going to find a way. As long as you stay in balance, as long as you stay, as long as you allow nature to dictate, not even dictate, as long as you allow you and nature to flow together. And again, it's not dictating. What they are doing is dictation. You don't have a choice. You cannot go into the library after a certain time. You can only do this during certain allowed times. You can only eat at certain allowed times. You can only read and breathe. That's their lying schemes. You only can follow these laws, but the truth is, the reality is that in the end, when you break it all down, um, they're not paying. A lot of the higher ups, the ones that are making all these decisions and all these laws, don't pay attention to any of that stuff. They just want you to. And in the end, they want that bio energy. They want that love, orgasmic energy. Okay. And where does that come from? Nature. And so, in the sense, nature still dictates, and even at the highest levels, at the highest realms, even they have to respect it, which I find hilarious. And I mean, maybe they don't respect it. Maybe that's the main issue. They don't respect it, but they're going to, because all that bioenergy, all that love energy, going bye bye. That's what it seems to me, because they're having a harder and harder time of getting in. And as you can see from the people behind me, from the random people who show up, and harass me and most definitely harass you, they're running out of time. And since they don't go with the flow, since they don't work with nature, since they're beholden to this system of rules and regulation, they're going to find it very difficult to go with the flow. And from my understanding, I mean, in my experience, once you kick in that love, man, that love vibe, they ain't got nothing on you. Ain't got nothing. So they can, for me, it's like, it's just playing mind games. It's like playing kiddie games. Your mom's fat, so are you, blah 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 blah. It's little kid games. And then they try to kick it up a notch every now and then by using their thugs, the hired thugs. But for me, I guess this message for me and for you who are listening, it's time to go with the flow. Let's stop worrying about time so much, and let's no longer be beholden to their system. Peace and love, fam.